What's going on, guys? Welcome to Dime Dropper, 24-minute recap, episode 12. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe on all platforms, YouTube at Dime Dropper Podcast, Apple Podcasts, follow us on Spotify, and of course, follow us on social media at Twitter and Instagram at Dime Dropper Pod. Make sure to hit the notification bell on YouTube too to know whenever we're going live. So, my Friday fucking night has been ruined like usual when the Clippers play on Fridays. No, I'm just kidding. But it has been ruined because it looked like another great start for the Clips, great defensive intensity against this Warriors team that we beat the other night. Everybody was playing well. I mean, rolling on all cylinders. You name it, we were doing it. It was going all smooth. We're up around, I think it was 22 points, 85-63, I think it was. Or maybe it was 65-43. I don't know. But all I do know is to around that last 3 minutes of that third quarter, up until like the 8-minute mark of that fourth quarter, we got outscored 34-6 by the Warriors. Complete and utter choke job, just like we're used to here in Los Angeles when watching the Clippers. And just like I'm used to. So, like, if you want to hear me yell and scream, you motherfuckers are not going to get what you want because, unfortunately for you guys, because you guys are going to click on this video anyway because you're sheep, I'm used to it. So at this point, it doesn't really hurt anymore. It just pisses me off a little bit. But this is the reason why I can't pick the Clippers to win the championship. This is exactly why. And I'm not going to – what's funny is, like, Paul George and Kawhi, they had a chance to come in the fourth quarter, and, Steph really led the charge. We got to give a hand to Steph Curry tonight. He is playing now with this kind of, I'm not going to let us not make the playoffs, which is exactly what I always talk about. If you're a top 5 player in the league, if you have another all-star caliber player on your team like Draymond and, an adequate supporting cast, and Draymond, he wasn't the best tonight, but in the last couple of minutes, he turned it on. And honestly, once again, he just makes the right plays. But Steph, it was unbelievable all night, especially late in that third quarter. I mean, we tried. We were doing a good job on him, but, like, he was just hitting tonight. He was just having one of those nights. And then you got to give a shout out to, what's his name? Pascal off the bench for the Warriors. I mean, that's really where they won the game and we lost it, right? The bench. And we've already talked about it this season against San Antonio. And I forget what other game we talked about it. I think it was Utah. So Utah and San Antonio, our second unit, which we got so famous for, the bench mob, has absolutely cost us basically 3 games this season. But more so, too, because the Utah game, Kawhi and Paul George didn't shoot well. But, I mean, an absolute disgrace again from the bench. And you know what? Because Marcus Morris Sr.'s back, Ty Lue wanted to go with the total bench unit of just only bench, no staggering Kawhi and Paul. And, in the first half, it was looking good because he went zone, which I thought was a really genius move because it hides Reggie, Lou, and Lou's deficiencies on defense and doesn't let them get put in that pick and roll. So it was actually a good idea. I don't know why we went away from it later in the game, but in that second half, and you know what I will say, even though Ty Lue, this is not on him at all, the first mistake I can say he made this season, though, tonight, he left Lou Williams in too long. And you know what? It's time to say something about Lou Williams. I thank him for everything he's done for the Clippers. 2019, I'll never forget that season as long as I live, but it's time for him to go. I'm done. I'm finished because I cannot take it when a player needs to do something offensively to be effective in a basketball game. If you cannot be effective without doing something offensively, without scoring or assisting, you do not belong on the basketball court on any championship contender of any kind. Because how many players in the Lakers last season were defensively deficient like that? 0. Kuzma stepped up in the playoffs. How about Toronto the year before? 0. You can't have defensive liabilities in crunch time unless they're absolute scorchers offensively, and he has lost that ability. He is not as good as he used to be. It's time to go. We need to trade Lemon Pepper by the deadline. I like Lou, but it's done. I'm finished with that shit. And because it's time for Kennard to be the ball handler off the bench. Batum, Ibaka, they were so good tonight. Plus 14, plus 15. Let's look at the plus minus of the bench, guys. Let me tell you right here. Oh, here we go. Marcus Morris Sr., minus 20. I'm not too mad at him, though. He's just getting back into the swing of things. Ivica Zubac. Once again, he's just been, taken out of his rhythm completely with the second unit, playing with the lower quality of players. He was getting torched by Pascal. He just couldn't guard him. It was just a bad matchup for him. He just wasn't laterally quick enough to stay with Pascal. And so Zoo, minus 26. Lou Williams, minus 24. -5 and Kennard -22, but I honestly don't think Kennard was all that bad. Lou Williams had the ball too much. He had 3 turnovers. Awful. Again, the second unit completely blew it. But you know what? Kawhi, let's talk about Kawhi for a second. I think Ty Lue kept him out a little too long, but his clutch factor, maybe Clipper fans are going to get mad at me for this, but his clutch factor is a little overrated because, we've had him on our team for a year and like 10 games now. And, he choked in the playoffs. And then let's talk, I remember the game against Boston last year. He wasn't good. The only games I can think of that Kawhi like really ended it for us were like, besides really early in the season last year was Game 6 against Dallas in the bubble. And then against Houston at home last year, the first game we won. But other than that, Kawhi's had a lot of moments where he just kind of chokes. I don't know how else to say it, and also Paul George played so well until the fourth quarter where he had 3 turnovers in the fourth quarter. So essentially the bench killed our momentum. We can never go total bench again, but the team choked all in all. And the reason why I can never pick them to win the championship as of now is because of that. And don't tell me it's just one game, Clipper fans. It's not one game. We know what this team's about, and we know what the Clippers have always been about. They're choke artists who are experts at blowing leads. Just as I am an expert at ranting about them blowing leads. It's the facts. And until they prove that they can get out of the second round, I'm not going to show them an ounce of respect in terms of, mental toughness or any of that nature until they get out of the second round. Because as I said before, those wins are cool, but I've never made any declaration that we're going to get past the second round at any point this season. I just keep saying one game at a time. And all of our flaws are being exposed slowly. I mean, here's the thing. The good news is no team looks great right now. In my opinion, the Lakers are the only team that's a level above, I'd say, just because I have to give them their due for winning the championship last year. But other than that, every team has some flaws, including us. But, we're going to have to get through the Lakers if we want to win the championship. Maybe not even necessarily to get out of the second round. But I see blatant flaws, and it's the second unit, which is hilarious because that's not what's been our problem the last 2 years, or 3 years even. But yeah, Lou Williams, I'm done with it, man. I don't know what else to say, but I think Ty Lue will learn his lesson tonight. He can't go total bench. Warriors bench competed, though. Andrew Wiggins, big-time dagger. That was a nice shot. 16 points for him. Kelly Oubre, he just keeps chucking away. But you know what? You got to give props to the Warriors. They got the job done. 5-4 for them. Great job. Stephen Curry, 38 points, 13 of 24, 9 of 14 from 3. Draymond Green, not a great game from him on the stat sheet, but he still made those little plays in the game. Their record is not a coincidence that's so good with him compared to when they weren't with him. So, I don't know about so good, but what are they, 4-2 with him or 3-2 with him? So we'll take that. We've been watching the games here at Dimes Rubber, so we know what Draymond's been doing. Anyway, 34-18 in the fourth quarter for the Clippers. We got outscored 64-40 in the second half, which is absolutely unacceptable. We did the same thing where we just, went iso ball when the going went tough, and it's mostly just a high pick and roll with Lou and Zoo. They're both out of sorts right now this season, and I'm just very over that experience I'm honestly just over the Lou experience because he doesn't fucking rebound, doesn't play defense. So I can't take that. Anyway, I don't know what our next game is. I don't fucking care either. It'll come when it comes. I didn't get to watch the Laker game, guys, tonight because the Clippers were playing at the same time. So honestly, I don't even feel like watching it. I'm probably just going to watch the LaMelo versus Lonzo game and then watch the Suns game because I know they lost that one. I was going to talk about the Suns last night or the game against Toronto where they were fantastic continuing, but since they lost to a Pistons team tonight that's one of the worst in the league, I'm going to have to comment on that on our next episode. Lakers, though, AD was poor last night. All Laker fans know that. He load managed tonight. He's been load managing this season. You can deny it all you want if you don't like the term. He's been load managing. And, LeBron has been great. LeBron is putting himself in that MVP race again so far this season. He was great. And I heard that the Lakers kind of just kept the Bulls in the game tonight, but eventually they did enough to get over the finish line. So, whatever. So I went to the Lakers. They're 7-3 now, top of the West, which I expected them to be. They were my first pick. Anyway, let's go. I'm going to talk about 2 more games, and then we're going to go to the live chat with 95 of them in here. Of course, when the Clippers lose, they flood, which is great for me. It's a good consolation. Anyway, let's go to the Wizards and the Celtics. I actually had a lot of fun watching this game tonight. I was hoping that the Wizards would come out and really compete. And who was really competing tonight? I've been going at his effort on defense along with his partner in crime, Westbrook. But Bradley Beal really took the challenge tonight from the beginning of the game, trying to guard Jason Tatum. And I emphasize trying to guard him because even though he was playing solid defense, putting a hand up, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, when they're hitting their contested jumpers like they've been this season and they were tonight, you can't really do anything. Like, you can't do anything unless you have guys that can switch on them. But honestly, if they're making their contested jumpers, there's no one that can guard them one-on-one, really. So Jason Tatum was great. The Wizards, Bradley Beal was legitimately, I'll give him all the props tonight. This was his first game this season where I actually felt bad for him, legitimately carrying them. Because the last game, they still didn't compete on defense at all. Tonight, they actually tried, especially in the second half. But, the Celtics were complacent a bit. And, they were missing their three best rebounders, Boston, Grant Williams, Rob Williams, and Tristan Thompson. But, because of Tatum and Jaylen and just other guys, Semi Ojeleye was hitting some threes. Semi was 2 of 6 from 3, so not good. I think he cooled down when the Celtics started cooling down because, when Jaylen Brown was on the bench, he was a plus 21 tonight. And also, Taco Fall started and had 3 blocks and was a little presence under the basket. So maybe the Celtics should consider using him. But Celtics were up like 26 points. Westbrook was playing horrible. And I'm going to have my say on Westbrook in a second. But the Wizards bench players were fighting back. And, this is another thing with Scott Brooks that I've been saying he needs to get fired. Another reason he needs to get fired. Why is Robin Lopez still playing over Mo Wagner? Mo Wagner, every time he comes in, he actually, first of all, he can move. Secondly, he actually plays decent. And tonight, in 13 minutes of play, plus 12. That's not coincidence. He came in and played well. Ish Smith, the bench players who's starting to find his shot now is Davis Bertans. So that's a good thing for the Wizards fans. He was 4 of 9 from 3 tonight with 13 points. But and Rui Hachimura was really competing tonight too. But ultimately, the Wizards came back, made it close. But there was one play late in the game that really kind of defined it, and that was Thomas Bryant was under the basket on a roll. Tice was contesting it, but he didn't even jump, really. Thomas Bryant missed like a 6-footer outside the restricted area. It was short. It could have cut the game down to 3. Instead, the Celtics come back. Jaylen Brown hits a corner 3. Celtics go up 8, and the Wizards are cashed. And who really is the one that I don't think played well tonight? Again, and I think I'm really worried about him now. As I said, I'm a big Russell Westbrook fan. I've been supporting him since the beginning of his career. But it's time to admit that he's not a great player anymore. Or he's just not fit enough to play right now. Because ever since the season shut down in March, he hasn't been the same. He hasn't had that same explosion. He doesn't go to the basket anymore. He's not aggressive. He doesn't have that nuclear athleticism that we've been so accustomed to knowing Westbrook. He's not very good when think about it, guys. If you take away Westbrook's like really crazy athleticism, how good is he still? You want me to read you his line tonight? 4 of 16, 2 of 5. I mean, it was just not a threat. You want him to shoot left and right. Minus 17. He had 8 assists and 7 turnovers, which is absolutely god-awful. I love Westbrook, but right now Beal's on an island in terms of, he doesn't have a partner in crime right now. Westbrook has been pretty awful this season. And let's not even talk about his defense off the ball where he gets lost all the time. Right now I would have, obviously the Luka, Dame, Steph over Westbrook, but I would also have Trae Young even over Westbrook, and we're going to get to Trae Young in a second. He was screwing up the other night, but I would still have Trae Young. I would still have Kyle Lowry. I'd still have Chris Paul. I'd still have Jamal Murray, even though he's off to a slow start. Right now, I would have Malcolm Brogdon, but I'm not going to say he's better than Westbrook until a full season, but it's looking that way. Maybe even Ben Simmons at this point. It's getting to the point where Ja Morant, when Kemba comes back, it's getting to the point where he may not even be a top 10 point guard in the league anymore. And that hurts because I like Westbrook, but you can't defend it anymore. I've watched all the games. You know what I'm saying? The stats are cute. They don't do anything. Those rebounds are nothing. Anyway, let's get to the Hawks, who've lost now 3 games in a row after starting 4-1. They're now 4-4. They've lost 3 games to 3 winnable teams, and that's the Charlotte Hornets, the New York Knicks, and the Cavaliers. 3 teams that you should win if, 3 teams that they should beat. And they've lost all 3, and there's been some common denominators in all 3. And in this one, it was actually different than the other 2. They weren't up by 15 points. They were down by like 20 points because Trae Young got off to the absolute worst start the worst half of basketball I've ever seen him play. Think of if you turned on your opponent's turnovers sliders in 2K up to 100. That's exactly what it was for Trae Young. He was literally, not only was he missing layups, missing his threes that he takes normally, turning the ball over like it was his job. Like some passes that had no chance of going through and, just losing the ball like carelessly. He had 7 turnovers in 1 half. Guys, the Hawks had 11 points in the first quarter. They were up by 19 at the half. And they slowly started inching their way back. But the problem with the Hawks is they're another one of those teams. This is the second game in a row I've said it. Actually, maybe the third. They get to 3 happy. And it starts from the top. The Hawks were lit as fuck the first couple of games, hitting all their threes. Gallinari has been out, so they don't have that mid-post threat as I talked about in the last episode. It's just very much high pick and roll with Trae Young. Now, does it have to be high pick and roll with Trae Young every time down? It does not. Because I've seen DeAndre Hunter create his own shot on occasion this season. He deserves opportunities. As I've said in this from the first episode, John Collins is really talented, but what's his game? Can he score offensively in terms of creating his own? Does he have any moves? Is he a post player? Is he a face up from the 18 feet mid post? What's his game? Is he just pick and pop, pick and roll? Because right now, here's the thing. Kevin Huerter can create, Bogdanovich can create, even though he's had a really tough 2 games, Cam Reddish, 3 of 15 the other night, 0 of 8 from 3. You need to get him different types of looks too. He can't just be feeding off of Trae Young. And that's the whole thing. I saw an article today that apparently John Collins challenged Trae Young and said, it's exactly what I've been calling it, guys. You guys have been listening. I said that eventually this could be a problem of Trae Young dribbling too much and trying to do a little too much when he's got a talented team. It was actually the run was made when Trae Young wasn't in the game that the Hawks got back into this thing. Brandon Goodwin came off the bench, had some really good energy, was making threes, running the floor, getting steals, really injecting some life into this team. And Kevin Huerter was the only person on the Hawks that made more than 1 3 in the game. He had 19 points, 5 of 12 from 3. Bogdanovich has been struggling, and he's been taking really bad shots too as a result. I mean, this team needs a Rondo because when they start falling off, if Trae Young's not playing well, it's going to be hard for them to win, but Trae Young needs to adjust. And this goes back to what I was just saying. If John Collins really challenged him today and said what he said, which I totally believe, and Trae Young said, "Nah, I disagree," that tells me everything I need to know about Trae Young. And by the way, 7 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 7 turnovers, minus 15. So that's twice as many turnovers as he had assists. The Hawks lose to the Charlotte Hornets 104-92. And don't think I'm going to forget about Gordon Hayward's performance. 44 points, a career high, 15 of 25. I got to give a shout out to my man, Gordon Hayward, who has been, even though overpaid, awesome to start the season. I'm happy for him, seeing him play like this. And LaMelo Ball was really good off the bench too. But that being said, that tells me everything I need to know about Trae Young, demanding, once again, goes back to, is the NBA getting better and better? My episode series, please go check it out. These stars are so entitled. We already heard about Trae Young complaining about, his lack of a supporting cast. Now that he has a supporting cast, he just wants to get 30 and 10. He wants to win on his terms. He's a point guard. Once again, the show is called Dime Dropper. I didn't play in the NBA, but once again, I've played basketball my whole life. I'm point guard. You need to make life easier. It's not about you. It's about the team if you're the point guard. And you know what? These players do not need to be put in boxes. You do not need to do high pick and roll every single time because other players on this team can create shots on their own. And for people that's saying, I don't know how well DeAndre Hunter and these guys can create, well, you're never going to find out if it doesn't start from somewhere. Trae Young needs to play off the ball a little bit. He needs to relax, and he just fiends getting that little foul from behind, throwing it up there when someone hits his back. I'm getting really tired of it. And I hope Hawks fans are too, because as talented as this kid is, he needs to buy into his team. He cannot this dribble. It's once again, it's all about the stats. It's all about I want to be me. Chill out, Trae Young. You're going to not make the playoffs, and we're going to have it out. This is why we're watching this year. This is exactly why I picked the Hawks this year, to find out all these things and see it closely. I'm rooting for the Hawks, but Trae Young needs to move the basketball, period. Anyway, I'm going to check in with the Lonzo LaMelo game tonight for tomorrow's recap. if we're going to have one tomorrow. I actually don't think I'm going to have a recap tomorrow because it's Rams football playoffs, baby. Go Rams against them Seahawks. So that's going to be fun. Heard we getting Andrew Whitworth back for that one. Nerve-wracking. First time playing the Seahawks in the playoffs. That's going to be fun. But yeah, that's about it for tonight, I'd say. Coming to you the next recap will include the Pistons Suns game from tonight, as well as LaMelo versus the Pelicans, just because we want to talk. We'll talk about it just because I know you probably want to hear my thoughts about it, even though they're not one of Dime Dropper's teams. But yeah, good win for the Celtics. They move on to 7-3. Wizards 2-7. Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal starting to get frustrated. That's all for tonight, guys. Let me know what you think. Clippers suck. Peace. All right, guys. There's a lot of you in here. I'm not going to be on longer because I'm done with y'all. Dime Dropper, a Rams fan? You disappoint me. Shaking my head. When has LeBron been a closer? LeBron, come on, guys. Okay. Trust me, I'm all for grilling LeBron James, but let's not lie. He's proven after 2011 he can close games. He's one of the best in the league at it, honestly, and it's time to stop using that narrative. It's very overdone. LaMelo's the real deal. Best trade package. I want George Hill, like just someone smart. George Hill, Ricky Rubio. Ricky Rubio's I don't know. It looks like he's wasting the year in Minnesota. LeBron was not a closer before 2012. He was not. 2011 proved that very much so. And he used to miss free throws all the time down the stretch of games. I used to think, I remember 2011, there's like a whole compilation of LeBron missing shots at the end of games. Do the Clippers miss Trez? No. Next question. I'm a Saints fan. I feel that you have a chance to win it all. Do the Spurs make the 8th or 7th seed? I'm going to stick by my pick and say neither. Being a Clippers fan is bad for my mental health. Hey, what's up, Sean? You should accept it. I've accepted it. That's why I'm not too mad. Oh, look, it's the little dick, William Nayu. Hey, he's in my lives, though, man. He's obsessed with my shit. OMG, he hit a clutch shot against the Grizzlies. Are you talking about LeBron sport reactions? You liking the Sixers this year? Come on, bro. Look who their coach is. You think I like him? Bro, I thought y'all was going to blow us out that third. Oh, MJ, you a Warriors fan? Yo, you should know that there's always a chance to get back in the game when the Clippers are playing you. Rubio's underrated. Lakers offense looks out of sync sometimes. Been getting ugly wins and have a long way to go. I feel you, Studio of Shred. Not 2009. Guys, he hit one shot against Orlando. If he hadn't hit that shot, he would have gone down 2-0. Missed me with that bullshit. 2010, 2011 showed LeBron wasn't there yet. He got over mental barriers. Stop cherry picking. Just because he went off against the Pistons in 2007, trust me, I was a LeBron fan. I remember vividly. He wasn't that clutch yet. He got clutch 2012. Okay, before that, he was kind of a bum in the clutch. You want him to go to the foul line. Yeah, he was a closer against Chicago and Boston, but what did that mean in the finals, huh? I don't miss me with that BS. I was a LeBron fan. I rooted for him. I was like, oh my God, he's going to win. He's got that killer mentality after Chicago, after Boston. I remember game 5, vividly remember it. And then what happened in 8 points, most pathetic performance by a star in the history of the NBA Finals. So don't give me that. No, 2012, okay? Now we're getting on tangents. Hey, it's my first commenting. I really enjoy your takes on basketball game and insight. I also don't only come after Clippers lose. Hey, I appreciate you, Red Viper. Hope to see you again on the next live, man. Hey, bro, I saw what happened. I'm sorry. What's up, Mehran? We good, buddy. We good. Being a Clippers fan is the same as being a Seahawks fan. No, it's not, because the Seahawks are the number 1 team in their city and they've won a Super Bowl, so it's not. I'm afraid there's nothing like being a Clipper fan. Nothing. 2020 is over. Is 2021 choke more to come? We'll see. AD always injured, not consistent, but he had some moments here and there. Yes, but every star's had their moments here and there in the clutch. Then, how does Paul George cough the ball up 3 times in a row? I do not know, Edwin. Once again, it goes back to Paul George. Is he going to be able to get over those mental barriers this season? He's been great, but here's the thing: the bench has got to do a better job. They can't just plummet like that every game. That's fucking Cock Rivers. Don't expect him to like the Sixers. And you know what's funny? I don't have any beef with the Sixers, actually. I actually like Joel Embiid a lot. And I love Tobias Harris. That's one of my favorite Clippers I've ever watched with the Clips. And I love Julius Erving. I mean, that's UMass's own. That's my guy. Minuteman Gang. So I love those old Sixers teams of the 80s. Mo Cheeks and what's his name? Bobby Jones, Chocolate Thunder. Ibaka has really changed. I heard Trez was good today, too. Ibaka has really changed from 19 to 21. In 19, he couldn't shoot threes very well. He could, though. He was shooting threes in 20. Maybe not very well, but he was shooting threes. but great down low, mid-range, and post. Yo, I don't think he's ever really had a real post game though. Like how many? There's not that many guys in the NBA that have a real post game like at all. Like not consistently. They can make one post game on a guy smaller than them, if that. These guys don't have real post game. Jokic has it, Embiid has it. Lob City would have won a championship. I disagree. We wouldn't have. AD is playing terrible this year. I thought AD was going to be a first option. I think you need to be patient, and I think terrible is a stretch. I want the Clippers to get like a George Hill or like Ricky Rubio for Lou. Bro, Celtics had a squad. I understand, but that doesn't excuse LeBron from Game 5's quit job that he had. Absolute quit job. I forgot it until during quarantine. They showed it again, and I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. Like, he's literally just quitting. Like, he can't make a jumper to save his life. Like, Tony Allen just had him on clamps. It was literally just load up, back up 5 feet, make LeBron drive because he has no jumper, and force him to kick it out to these shooters when we're all going to retreat because, once again, you have no in-between jumper. You have no contested pull-up. You know, it's miss me. I mean, let's not talk about LeBron, guys. He's not the topic of discussion tonight. LeBron isn't clutch like Jordan, but LeBron is still clutch decent at the end. Facts. Jordan is, Jordan. Lakers were winning ugly last year, though. You guys are overreacting with the Lake show. Maybe, but the Lakers still have some deficiencies more than last year, I think. Russell versus Donald, basically a toss-up. Iggy is not a better closer than LeBron. I already answered the Lou Williams question. What's up, MJ Robinson? Did you stop loving him after he joined the Lakers? No, I didn't actually. Well, actually, yes, you can say that. I stopped loving him after he joined the Lakers, not because I don't like the Lakers, but because Laker fans used to be the ones that used to always argue with me, Kobe and LeBron, and they used to grill LeBron every single time he did something wrong, and I used to get so mad. And then the fact that he went to the Lakers, I was just like, okay, bro, like, you're really gonna do that? The fans that always disliked you. But I'm actually really happy he did that because it opened my mind. I didn't have any more bias about LeBron. Now I see him objectively completely, and I see him for all the shit that he does. And yeah, but I only started disliking him after he was trying to recruit Kawhi Leonard to the Lakers after they had already gotten AD. So he was ready to take the easiest way out of a ring possible, which showed me how uncompetitive he truly is. Anyway. Let's see. Man, my God, so many comments. Did LeBron take a logo? Paul George isn't the guy. What's up, Big Poppy? You think my Colts have a chance? And which players in the league would you take over Curry right now? I don't know if the Colts have a chance. I haven't watched them play at all, but I think that I was saying Anthony Davis coming into this season, but honestly, Steph is starting to gain his points back. But I was thinking just Kawhi, LeBron, Kevin Durant. Rams by 10. Braun never had shit till Miami. He deserved his talent after Cleveland ain't built around him. 36-year-old LeBron was just 2 months coming off rest. And PG had a choke. PG's load managing? He missed one game, didn't he? Let's wait on that load management call. He missed one game. Okay. Iggy over Curry and LeBron game. Okay, I don't know. Max Kellerman has entered the chat. Seahawks won 7 years ago. It's only a game. It doesn't matter. Playoffs matter. Yes, you're right. I meant with the constant heart attacks. Shout out East Coast. What's up, DJ Vo? Way off P again. Thoughts on Kawhi finally deciding to play back-to-back. I'm so happy with it. I think it's a little risky because he's still got the quad injury, but I love that he's taking the challenge, and that's got something to do with Ty Lue. Ty Lue's got to be telling him that because Doc Rivers, or Glenn Rivers, sorry, I shouldn't have said that, used to just be like the conservative approach. We'll wait till the playoffs. No. We need to build chemistry in these games. These losses are good. Clippers bench been awful, man. Zoo has lost his I said this in the first couple episodes. Zoo has lost his confidence off the bench. It's exactly what I'm worried about. Because he's also playing with lower quality players. Him and Kawhi had that high pick and roll down pat last year, and now he's really just struggling with it. Where would you like to see Lou Will go? I don't care. I really don't care. I'd like to see him go to Magic City. The bench single-handedly lost us that game. Yeah. Well, Paul George and Kawhi didn't help in the fourth, man. I have to say. They choked. World be free, baby. Is this Clippers L Trez's fault too? Wow, that's a cute comment. Kawhi got to be better at closing out games. I agree, Edwin. Shout out Massachusetts. Shout out Celtics fans. PG got another game winner hit in the face. What? Clippers need Patty Mills. Yeah, well, that's not happening. Hey, dude, you should play for the Clippers soon if you become a GOAT. Okay. AD was not load managing tonight. He had a sore thigh. All right. If he plays next game, that's not sore thigh. That's load managing. Okay. You guys fucking make excuses. Time dropper. Leave the Clippers, bro. Just leave. Lob City. I didn't know. We're not. If you want me to write an essay about Lob City and do a whole podcast on why they didn't win a championship, I can do that too. Clippers need Kyle Lowry. Yeah, Embiid is a good post game. AD isn't terrible. He's just been on cruise control and it makes fans mad because he could be better. I agree, Studio Shred. Super chats in the membership. Yeah, Random, man. I'm so sorry. Jordan is Jordan. He literally hit a shot to win a championship. Lake Show 2021. As a Thunder fan, no thank you. I don't want lemon pepper Lou. LeBron had another game-winning elbow tonight. Oh, my God. Did he? Clippers best team in the West? No, the Lakers are until proven otherwise. Triple chat numbers when Clippers lose. Yeah, so who's winning really? The Clippers need to win a champ. Okay. I don't care about the contract of Kennard. I care about if we make it past the second round. I don't care about the money. We shouldn't have paid him so early. That Game 5 quit job by LeBron James is a middle finger to the entire Cavs organization. Back then, Cavs was poorly managed. Even the first and second stint of LeBron is poorly managed. David Griffin did a good job, though. Buccaneers playoff football. It's been 13 years, man. Hey, congratulations if you're a Bucs fan, dude. I'm happy for you guys. Don't know if it's the mask, but Kawhi. Yeah, the mask is killing. I wanted to get that mask off quick, but damn. I dislike LeBron when he made a super team at the Heat. I feel that move changed basketball. No, Kawhi doesn't do the same thing. If he would have done the same thing, he would have joined LeBron. He recruits like LeBron, which I don't like either, but he didn't want the easy way out of a ring, the easiest way. He took the hardest route, going to the Clippers. He should have stayed in Toronto. That was the best way. Or if he wanted to cheese his way to artificial rings, he would have gone to the Lakers, but instead he chose to go to the most cursed franchise in the history of American sports. So and look what happened to him since he's come. He got ridiculed. He blew a 3-1 lead because he joined the Clippers with Doc Rivers. So, yeah, and he wanted Paul George to come. So he really took the hardest way. Anyway. Who's a better passer, LeBron or Jokic? I'd still go LeBron. If LeBron went to Clips, I probably still would be biased, Jonah, and I'm so happy he didn't. Jordan would have loved to have Isaiah Thomas, bro. I've seen your GOAT series, and you talk about LeBron going to Chicago, which I always wanted. How good do you think that team could have been? I think it could have been really good, rag to bitches, but he would have had to figure it out without Dwayne Wade or a champion. He would have had to, make them champions himself without a champion with him. Rams winning by 10. I don't know who's going to win the Super Bowl this year. Who's better, Max Kellerman or Stephen A? Stephen A. Stephen A is my favorite talking head. I think he's the best, even though he can get a little bit scream too much. Charles joined a super team. Everyone, no. That was after his prime, way after his prime, G. Come on now. Stop it. Way after his prime. They were all out of their primes, actually, in Houston. Yeah, I'll never forget Lou Williams on my Sixers. Aside from those 3-1 leads, can you tell someone that will describe Clippers as an organization? I have one. Trading Moses Malone and Bill Walton. Picking Michael Olowokandi. Steph Curry is greater than Kawhi. Doubt it. 2019 Finals. Playoff P got smoked in the last. He got smoked in the last 12 minutes. Super Seahawk. Came here to mock you, but now I just feel bad. What made you a Clippers fan? I made a video on this, Juan Guerrero. Stop wasting my time. Why I'm a Clippers fan. It's one of my most popular videos. Go watch it. No, the Raptors should not toss away the season. Can the Warriors make it? Yes, I've said multiple times. 7th. Who is your guys' closer? It has to be Kawhi. Jordan didn't have a super team. That's the most casual take I've ever heard from somebody who wasn't alive. Artificially made. By the way, the 80s, because you're playing against super teams, the league was condensed with less teams. Very casual, very casual. Should the Clippers get Lonzo next season? We'll worry about next season then. Yes, it does concern me that the Clippers' MO seems to be blowing leads. LeBron was having a mental breakdown last year in Cleveland. There were rumors that his mom slept with Delonte West. The Warriors recruited KD. Harden recruited CP3. I don't think that all of those are trash. All of those are trash. I hate the recruiting. You leave that to the GMs. You play basketball. You know what I'm saying? You play basketball. I don't like that recruiting shit. Do the locker room. You play against the best, not with the best. That's how I was taught to grow up. With Wiggins and the entire bench balling, can Golden State Warriors upset the Clips in the playoff? No. Did y'all forget the Celtics? KG, Pierce, Rondo, Ray Allen killed those legends before killing LeBron for making a super team. I'm not killing LeBron for the Heat. I'm not killing LeBron for going to the Heat. I'm just saying that what he did had big implications on the league. And, you know, can you continue your why Boston lost to the Heat? I don't know, man. Maybe. I mean, Dwayne Wade everybody needs assistance, but Dwayne Wade was also a third-year player. Yeah, Moses Malone definitely joined a super team. Definitely. First of all, actually, no, they weren't a super team before. They were a super team with Moses, not before. Stephen Understate doesn't understand the game from how basketball works. So he says a lot of things that shows his, for one example, he thinks James Harden makes the Nets much better. Hey, some people have bad opinions, but Stephen A knows them more than anyone else of those talking heads. When did the live start? Sorry, I'm late. You must be... Yeah, Curry did go crazy. I don't know. I hope not much longer, Dark Prince, that Kawhi doesn't have that mask on. There's two superstars on one team is super team. Oh, if that's what... Okay, then I guess every team in NBA history is a super team then if two superstars are a super team. Bro, always so many viewers when I hate player empowerment. That sounds like they're being enslaved or something. LA clip shits are the chokers of the decade. Gotta love it. Good shit on your podcast, though. You know your shit. Thanks, Miguel Torres. How you feeling, bro? Trey, frustrated, man. Frustrated. Happy with all these viewers, though. These sheep come to my lives. But I have 200 views on this shit. Does the one seed mean anything in this year's playoffs if there are no fans? Probably not. Just confidence. Why leave your future to GMs? Because that's what they're paid to do. Manage teams. You have contracts you can sign. You join. You choose how long you sign them. There's never been more power to the players. Yes, I never said I liked the Kawhi recruiting. Never said that. You guys need to listen to my episodes before you come out here trying to, you know, act like I'm doing double standards. Yeah, decision is how he changed the game, Johnny. I think it's really ruined the game in many ways, first of all. That's part of why I don't like your boy anymore. That's tough, buddy. Basketball is becoming soccer. It's just how it's evolving now. Super soccer is an 11 person on the pitch. Dude, Bulls are not a super... Thank you. Thank you, Jonah. The bench of Clippers is shit, bro. I know, man. It's looking like it. Some GM are ass. Well, that's why when you have the point, you have a choice to go to the GMs that aren't ass, right? Levy Jose with player empowerment. Just give up. First of all, I don't know the meaning of give up. You should give up trying to say that. Why do you think about the 76ers this year? They're going to lose in the second round. Was Tim Duncan ever the best player in the world? Yes, I think from 2003 to 2005. No, they weren't a super team. You guys don't actually watch 90s basketball. Like, or your definition of a super team is different than everyone else. Thanks, Mike Awesome. I appreciate you. I come with a... Shouldn't Kawhi rest until he can get that mask off? No, you just got to play through it. Braun the GOAT. Doubt it. If you like uncompetitiveness, sure. If you're soft, they recruit their players probably, bro. It's like if you play like playing with your friends. Yeah, that's my problem, you boy, Raph. Playing with your friends. Everyone wants to, bro, let's have play dates. Why don't you compete against the best? That's how I was taught. You know what? I work at a summer camp, and all these kids, they never want to play against each other. They only want to stack their teams. You know why? They're watching these fools. That's the role models now. Easy way out. Kevin Durant's weaker, but who'd he learn from? Yup, because he used to be competitive before them. Anyway, no, here's the thing. If a team needs to do what's best for them, you do what's best for you, fine. But if you think what's best for you is stacking your team and winning with ease, then that's fine. You can do that, but I can say what I want to say about how uncompetitive you are. Okay? At the end of the day, I can say what I want to say. He influenced so many players and showing that you don't have to be trapped and forced to be loyal. Forced? All right, I'm done for the night, you soft pussies. All right, peace. Go Clippers.